traveling, road game, a little bit different setting, environment. You know, a place that people won't get to be playing football games very often for much longer when they get their stadium done. And Northwestern does a good job. They're well coached. You see a team that presents some issues that will be a fun challenge for us. But ultimately excited to get to go travel and see how our team performs, not at a home venue with our awesome crowd.
Here on the right, Zach.
This will be your first 9 a.m. body clock game. How does that change things for you guys as far as practice or schedule, just logistics?
You know, we're a morning practice team, so not a lot. That's what I told the guys this morning when we're about to go out to practice. This is about the same time we'll be playing, fellas. So our bodies are used to it, right? It's something that we can do that's a little bit different, and we're looking forward to that opportunity.
Right on the left, Eric.
Kind of similar to that. When was the last time you coached in a stadium that had 12,000 people in it? And kind of, I know, complications, what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't affect the size. I think the field's still going to be the same size, right? Also, that's what you focus on, right? It's definitely a different environment, but I've coached in some of those, right? I've coached high school football, I've coached FCS football, I've played NAI football, right? So I've been in some of those environments, and if you love football, you want to play your best regardless of what the crowd looks like or what the setting is. So it'll be a fun experience for our players, and they don't get to do that very often.
Front left, James.
5 pre-snap penalties is certainly a rarity for you guys at home. Was there anything, looking back at it, that was behind that, and what did the accountability for that look like the last couple of days?
Yeah, we'll get it fixed. Well, I mean, it was clear what we can coach better and what we can execute better, but we'll get that fixed.
Back right, Jack.
We saw this in both home games, just the unselfishness of a lot of your skilled players. Talk to me about how important that's going to be, just the impact that your skilled players have without even getting the ball in their hands. How important is that going to be when you start conference play on Saturday?
But it's important every game, right? I think we had 81 different players playing this last game. I don't remember what I said after the game, but we just, after going back and evaluating, 81 players playing this game. I think we had 31 players have a tackle. I think 19 different players touched the ball, right? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that can contribute, and I've said it from the beginning of the season that strength in numbers is going to be a great quality for us. And at some point, one of those 19 guys that touch the ball might not be available. So those other 18 are going to have great experience and be ready for it. And it doesn't allow you to hone in on one person to stop us offensively. It doesn't allow you to hone in on one person on defense to stop us defensively. So I think that's really important when you have, you know, I've always said it, if we have enough above the line players, we'll play several above the line players, and we have that right now.
You're on the left, John.
Just curious with that, the one field goal they did get came off of a broken play that set up on that drive. Just curious what the rotation was supposed to be on that one on the backside, because it just seemed like there was some confusion going on there.
Yeah, poor coaching on our part, right? It's a play we should have been prepared for. You know, we pulled up too, we were blitzing, and the guy stopped blitzing. That's never going to be good when you're sending that many people when you pull up. But again, we'll get it cleaned up.
You're on the right, Zach.
You have an update on Austin after he was held out of the game?
Yeah, more precautionary, probably than anything. I think Austin can go, but his lat's been bothering a little bit. He's been able to practice, but we're just trying to limit him and get him in position where he can go again.
You're on the right, Aaron.
A lot of guys from your last 2 signing classes were those strength in numbers that you talked about. Just what does that say about their development and how you guys have been able to develop them so they are able to play above the line to the Oregon standard for you?
Yeah, I think we have a young group that's a really mature group, right? And there's a lot of guys, you walk in that locker room, you walk into a meeting room, in the training room, you see them preparing like vets, even though they might be freshmen. And I think the ones that aren't are looking at the ones that are and saying, oh wow, I could play if I prepared like that. And there's a lot of opportunities that are being created, but that also goes back to the leadership that we do on our team of veterans, of those guys being able to see what it looks like, how they have to prepare, and then, you know, good evaluation, good development of those guys, put them in a position to be able to go play. So credit to our coaches and our players.
You're on the left, Eric.
I wanted to ask you about Jaden and kind of maybe what's impressed you most on the field so far through 2 weeks, but also kind of off it this whole offseason.
Which Jaden?
Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of them. So, we talked about strength of numbers. Actually, gave an award to Jaden earlier today, talking about, like, this is, to me, the embodiment of what our team is, right? I think he played 15 snaps on special teams, 24 snaps on offense. One of his best plays of the day was a block that he had on, an inside run play. We're running down on kickoff, dynamic piece of our PBR team and our KOR unit. Like, he's done a lot of things right. So, every year wants his role and his opportunity to continue to grow. And I said, just keep working, it's going to come. And this year it's come. He's a player that we know what to expect from him when he steps on the field. He does his job, he does his assignment, he works extremely hard. He expects a lot of his teammates. Did some self-reflection after this last game. Was really honest with himself. So I continue to see like opportunities for him to keep growing and keep getting better. But he's done a really good job.
James.
Kind of in a similar light on the other side of the ball, Dan, what has allowed for Jerry to not just be a guy you can call upon, but in those moments, and it's not just the interception, but to when those opportunities arrive and still be a 4-unit special teams contributor, but to show out on defense so quickly? Yeah,
and I think Jerry, the minute he stepped on campus, he's been a ball production guy. He's a guy that's around the ball, and you're always trying to find ways to get guys like that, on the field. And we've seen him make that play over and over again in practice, like very similar to what he did on Saturday. What he's grown at is his ability to communicate with the people around him and get other people lined up. His ability to execute the defense at a really high level, high tick. And he's a great teammate. I asked Austin Novosad the other day, I was like, tell me who our best teammate is on defense. And he said, Jerry, right? And what's great is you could go ask 15 different guys that question, and you might get 15 different answers because that's the quality of men that we have on our team right now. But Jerry's grown a lot. He's doing really good, and I expect him to get a lot better.
Back left, Olivia.
When you've been winning by the margin that you have the last 2 weeks, how do you make sure your team stays hungry and doesn't overlook an opponent like Northwestern?
Yeah, well, again, we're focused on us. Don't pay attention to the outside noise, right? It wasn't around this summer. If it shows up now, it doesn't mean anything now, right?
We're on the right, Zach.
Outside of the spring game, just the biggest sample size we've seen from Luke. Just curious what you saw from him running the offense for so long.
Yeah, some really good, some things that he can continue to improve, right? I think we all know that Luke has some special strengths, right? You see him take off on the scramble. It almost looks like a draw play, the way he was able to hit that so fast and execute it really well. Going to continue to clean up like some decision making, kind of be able to make that slant pass there. Like that's when you want to see him complete. But Luke has the want-to, has the intangibles, has the athleticism that allows us to play, the brand of football we want to be able to play.
Here on the left, John.
The deep shot that Dante hit to DeCorian, he said after the game that it wasn't a design rollout, but when he saw the blitz come in from the right side, he felt like he needed to get out of the pocket. What does it say about his comfort level in the offense where he can turn his back to the line of scrimmage, and when he comes back around, he knows his guys are going to be out there and they're going to be open?
Yeah, great. I wish you would have just redirected the protection to start with, right? But unbelievable block by Noah, right? And really great play by Dante. But that's again another moment that we find, okay, let's walk away from it. Everybody sees that play, and they see an unbelievable play by Dante, unbelievable play by the offensive line, unbelievable play by DeCorian and Noah, and there's a lot of people that were part of that play. And we see that play and we say, man, I wish we could have redirected our protection here, right? It would have made it even easier to execute, but they did a great job of being able to execute, and that's a great example of you can't always replicate everything you're going to see in a game, in practice. It's a little bit different look than we had seen, and when it hit, we did a good job of executing because it's a little bit different on game day.
Back right, Jack.
You mentioned post-game that it might be tough to sort of measure how dominant the offense has been the past 2 weeks, given just the opponents that you played, wanting to find somebody that sort of matched you guys well. Do you think with all the elements going into this Saturday, road game, conference game, that Northwestern will give you a better understanding of how dominant this offense can perform?
I kind of we grade ourselves a little bit different. So in the first game, I think we graded out 73% of guys doing their job, executing at a high rate. We expect that to be higher than that. This past game, we were at 72%, so we actually went the wrong direction there. So for us, it's going to be about, again, we play with unbelievable effort. I think that's really clear on film, but it's about executing and doing the right job as well. So hopefully we can walk away from this game and say that we improved in that category.
On the right, Aaron.
Just heading into conference play, defending Big Ten champions, you're going to naturally have a target on your back. How have you attacked that in preparation for this week, knowing that from here on out in conference play, you do have that target on your back, and everyone's out to claim the title?
Yeah, ultimately we expect everyone's best, and that's really what we want because that's how we'll get our best. We talk about like diminishing returns or not. Like part of being able to be the best version of you is it takes a challenge, right? And you want a challenge from the teams that you get to play. Otherwise, you're going to lose some of that skill level because it's not required. So playing again to our standard, what we want to look like is really, really important. And getting people's best is going to be a great example of what it takes for us to become our best.
On the left, Eric.
I'm going to ask about maybe an update on progress for Evan Stewart, and if you're still optimistic he'll play this
Yeah,
year.
I'm not going to hop into injuries, right? I know you guys asked about Austin already, but there's some guys that weren't available last week that I think will be available this week. It's not right now for Evan.
James.
You've been able to play more guys the first 2 weeks than you had travel spots this week. Just you're planning to travel all 7 running backs specifically?
Yeah, I am.
Right here on the left. John.
With Dante, this is the first year that you haven't been pairing a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator, just in the terms that he got to work in Coach Stein's offense last year in practice every day. How much have you seen that show up for him early so far?
Say the question again.
This is the first year you're not pairing a new quarterback and coordinator. Kenny working with Bo for the first time, and then Will working with Bo, and then Will with
Yeah, just
with,
just have the opportunity to have
exactly,
continuity.
in practice every day last year.
Yeah, it's certainly a benefit, like really with our entire coaching staff. The fact that we got a lot of guys back, you know, obviously there's turnover at wideout with Coach Douglas, and he's done a really good job. But continuity helps.
On the right, Zach.
You mentioned 73%, 72%. What's your goal number? Like, are you aiming for 100%? Is that your standard every
Sounds
week?
good. No, I mean there isn't like an established like we have to do this, but obviously the higher the number is, the better.
On the left, Eric.
You guys punted for the first time on Saturday this season, and it was James. Can you talk us about what went into that decision and kind of how you thought he performed?
Yeah, I was just worried that if we didn't punt, we'd probably lose the punter to the portal. So I wanted to make sure we got an opportunity. No, he's done a good job, and Ross had an unbelievable fall camp. Did a really good job. We had good competition. You know, ultimately from both those guys, I think they both made each other better. But he's done a good job. He's earned that spot. You know, and I think he went and executed there to be able to put it inside the 10 and have good kicks to help us out.
James.
I want to get your thoughts on Preston Stone, just what you've seen both in his 2-game sample here and previously during his time at SMU.
Yeah, I think this very capable. He's got some zip to his arm. I don't think the first game, you know, this season was really indicative of who he is as a player, right? The Tulane DBs made some unbelievable plays on the ball for him, but a guy that's getting comfortable in the system for them and learning how to operate, can make the throws necessary to have success, and has some guys that he can turn to.
So we up for you, Coach. Thanks.
Appreciate it.